Hi, and welcome to the SEO Podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burres, one of the owners of EWR Digital.
And my name is Matthew Bertram, marketing consultant.
You guys may not know this, but this is take 2.
All right.
We have a 0 edit policy, and we were like 1 minute, and we're like, you know what? Let's just clean that up. We'll start over.
Towards editing for all you guys out there.
Okay, yeah. So anybody who thinks we need to edit more, and we know there are a few of you. We're gonna get that started.
That policy might be changed in 2023. we're trying to go big time,
taking it to the people. Hey, we've got a review. This review is from Kyle Galbraith. He's with Geek Window Cleaning. Patif to Kyle. It says EWR Digital's most impressive asset has been their ability to get us onto the top position of search results. Thank you, Kyle. And also
sounds like SEO.
And also, you're welcome, Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle was great to work with. So, great review there. We are on part 2 of an article by Ashley Segura, and it's how to conduct a content audit step by step. That is correct. This is part
2 of part 2
of 2 parts. This is the second of 2 parts.
The second take.
So go back and check. I mean, we're really in the section right now in terms of doing a content audit. We're in the section of metrics to track. We talked about comments. We talked about organic traffic.
We did.
And we left the teaser of bounce rate. Are you ready to
let's bounce into it?
Let's jump in it. So these are metrics to track. Are website visitors arriving on your web pages and exiting without engaging with your content? If you have a high bounce rate, that could be a sign of bad content. Extended time on the page in conjunction with a low bounce rate, usually, she actually has signals sticky content, but it usually signals sticky content that keeps users intrigued enough to continue on, hopefully to continue on to more of your content. Unsure of what a good bounce rate is? A range of 26 to 45% is average for retail and e-commerce sites, whereas B2B sites will fall into the 25 to 55% range. By the way, huge ranges, but that's appropriate from our experience. For blogs, this number can be as high as 90%. What's acceptable for you will depend on your niche. And then I added also on the type of content, right? Like that makes a difference.
I think you want to set a baseline, and certainly if it's above like 80% bounce rate, you need to revisit that content. And you really need to think about what do you want them to do next? What's the user flow? Like, why are they there? What can hold them on the page longer? But certainly if they're coming there and leaving, like most people are, you're not hitting something right. You know what I mean?
So. Do something to engage them. Add a video. Videos are a smart thing. And then track how much of the video they watch.
Well, there's sliders, there's widgets, there's pictures, there's tools, there's all kinds of stuff.
Also, great formatting helps people.
Oh my gosh, formatting is key.
Yeah, because at least they'll scroll through it and go like, okay, worth reading, not worth reading. Whatever.
So this is like 100 podcasts ago.
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking.
By the way, that's a real number.
Yeah. No, that really
this is podcast number 568. So
this is maybe 200 ago. But I remember we were talking about something. I was like, back in the old school days with SEO, we would like make the picture of maybe, something interesting, pretty girls, something like that. And you would want to scroll up, right, to see the rest of the picture. And then that would trigger time on site and all kinds of things. So.
We also made a point, and like there's no reason to belabor this. It is still very true, and most SEOs will not talk about this. But if you write amazing content and you get people to come to the one page, fill out a form or a purchase or whatever on that one page and leave, right? And you do everything on page, right? So you're using jQuery to say, hey, thank you for your purchase or thank you for submission. So it doesn't trigger a second page hit. A high bounce rate can be okay, right?
Well, but even, I don't know, even if they take action, Chris, so I like what you're saying. I think even if they take action, right? Or if they take action quickly, I think that actually helps you. Okay. So it's them clicking the back button is what hurts you. But if they go to this page and they click through to something else, right? So it goes to a thank you page or goes somewhere else. They're going to that page to go to somewhere else deeper in the site. that's a positive.
That's good.
You want them to.
Yeah. So if they sign up for a newsletter, and I'm literally thinking about,
taking action,
I'm going to need to go do something, right? Go show them a video. Go show them like, thank you for subscribing to the newsletter video, or here's what's amazing about our service or product or team or whatever. Right after they sign up for the newsletter, and that'll be engaging.
That's the best time for upsells.
Yep, because they took action.
Yeah,
that's really good. All right, next we're going to talk about metrics that you should track. Backlinks.
Yes.
Is there any? There's no doubt here, right? Bring on the backlinks, but only the good backlinks that give us a lot of boost and credibility, please. I like how Ashley writes this. You need to track the backlinks for 2 big reasons. Your backlinks will change over time. So imagine you post something the first day you publish a new piece of content. It may gain 2 or 3 backlinks. Fingers crossed, right? And you also need to be pushing it on your social media channels so that it's more likely to happen. Let a week go by and maybe now you've got 10 or 12 backlinks. A year down the road, you could have 589 backlinks. So you want to track them over time, because what happens by the end of the first day or the end of the first week may not be what ultimately happens.
So I'm going to give a pro tip here.
Okay.
For all you loyal podcast listeners.
What's our pro tip sound? Ding, 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 ding.
We need buzzers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on that.
I feel like it should
be.
Now,
back in the office, we had buzzers. We had a little shtick.
We had a shtick every time.
Like every time. Like I'm feeling like, now COVID's
Stickless.
over. Okay. Well, so the pro tip, let me get back to the pro tip, is there's a lot of sites out there that are built for backlinks. Okay.
Yep.
There's a lot of sites, and they try to just suck up people with guest posts and backlinks and all that sort of thing. And contrary to public opinion, those are not good sites to get backlinks from. Think about it. You're trying to create consistency. Your links are supposed to look like other sites that you're trying to rank for. And if you have a all category site that has links at all kinds of places in all kinds of industries, is that link very useful? It's the analogy of going up to the soft drink fountain, and you say you want Dr. Pepper or Sprite or whatever, and you just do the suicide where you get some of all of them. It waters it all down, right? Really specific niche backlinks are really important. And that's why there's other LinkedIn strategies of roundups and other things that people do to help create homogeneous kind of backlink profiles, which is really, really important. And also really high quality links are more important than low quality links, because Google is unindexing content and sites and links that are unuseful, because there's billions and billions of searches for a lot of these things. And if you're not creating anything useful or original or new to it, Google's just going to say, hey, we don't even need that in our database. So,
all right. So there's 2 reasons to track backlinks. 1, your backlinks will change over time. And 2, Matt was right on this subject. Not all the backlinks are good. So in our previous example, a year down the road, maybe you have 589 backlinks. Sure, that might sound good, but not if 500 of those backlinks are from potentially dangerous to your website, lead to spam, paid, or lead to a poor website. You might want to consider removing those unnatural backlinks, which can be fun.
I'm on the fence about some of this. I think Google looks at it and kind of dampens it. Certainly if you got with a negative SEO attack, like someone's running like bad backlinks to your site, then you might want to remove them. But there's all the bots, all the noise, all the low quality stuff. Google filters that out anyways, and there's really only few backlinks that really matter. But there's bot generated stuff, and you got to be kind of careful. There's some directories, and you'll get like 8,000 backlinks from like one directory. Not necessarily a good thing. So,
so keep a track of those. Probably more important, actually, than kind of the backlinks and really kind of monitoring quality over time is to just be mindful as you're accruing backlinks. And this is obviously a very organic process with the content, but be mindful if you're doing a backlink building campaign, not to like, let me get 1,000 this month and see what happens, right? And then from having 0 or having not gotten very many, because those kind of, you want to be careful of the trend of the backlinks.
Well, I would say that there's standard deviations here, but a lot of times getting a lot of backlinks at one time is actually more natural, right? You do an event, a bunch of people give you a bunch of links. So there is like going from 0 to 100, certainly. I think that backlinks, there was something I was about to say that was probably brilliant.
So maybe going up to 1,000 and staying like right at 1,000 from 0 for a sustained period of time, as opposed to like, you know, maybe you decide to run a billboard, right? Like maybe that's a strategy. You're running a billboard on the street.
You know, I think the peaks are okay. I think this is debated in the industry. Like I think it's debated in the industry. What I was going to say, I mean, certainly they got to look natural. Like they need to be natural. Just do things that will generate you backlinks.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think going on a link building campaign is necessarily the answer. AI is getting a lot better. What I will tell you to do is monitor the backlinks. And if you lose backlinks that are really high quality backlinks, figure out why you lost it. Maybe go back and get it. Because though that hurts you more than anything else, is generating the links is good. But if you don't keep the links, it's very, very bad. And if you have really good links and you lose like one really good link, that can tank your rankings more than anything else. So it's almost like customer, right? Like you don't want that churn. Redirects, you know, there's a lot of reasons why people could change backlinks. If it's a news site, they, you know, unindex it. Like there's different reasons for stuff, but understanding your backlink profile, absolutely critical, and figuring out ways to generate links, but through organic actions, because that, like, Google's getting really good at some of the stuff. Because like, look, Chris, like to play a little bit of devil's advocate, what if you generated 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever backlinks, the same number every month?
Yeah, that's unnatural.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of alluding to, like going from a low number or 0 to 1,000 and then being sustained at 1,000 month over month over month.
And what I think that speaks to is it speaks to the fact that, are you losing relevancy? Like, I think that's what you're speaking to. You're if you get this big peak and then there's a huge trough, that could be a marketing campaign, or that could be an event, or that could be something like that. But if you get this big peak and then it goes back to 0, okay, then what happened there? Like Google's trying to figure that out. I think getting up there and sustaining in that range and then going up some more, because are you growing or dying, right? Like even sustaining is good. So I think that these are really, there's not a definitive answer. Okay. Like I want to stress that there's not a definitive answer on these things. There's a lot of SEOs that feel differently about all these different things. I think if you go back to like what is natural is probably like the most important thing to look for. And here's the thing too. You listen to this podcast, you listen to podcasts in the back. Also, the algorithm changes. So everything's somewhat of a moving target. And so this is what I'm seeing today.
Yeah.
But it could not be what I'm seeing right now. I also would say we just have a post coming out, and we should maybe talk about some more chat GBT, because I know a lot of people are interested in that. But Google's saying AI generated content is okay if it's creating value.
Yeah.
So if all things are equal, and that's like a universal leveling factor in the space, what is Google going to hang its hat on that point then?
If all things are equal.
If content is equal.
If everybody's backlinks,
right?
Yeah.
So everything swung to content and high quality content. And that's been kind of the mantra for the last, let's say, 18 months. I would tell you that I would say it's got to swing. The pendulum's got to swing the other way, because there's a universal leveling factor out there right now. You can generate fantastically high quality content now, and that's going to become noise.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting time in our industry, is what I'll tell you. So,
all right. So the next one of the metrics to track is time on page. If your content is a long form blog post of 2,500 words and the average time on that page is 18 seconds, something is probably wrong.
That's fair.
This metric can inform you if your content just isn't right for your audience, or if it is, and you need to create more content focusing on topics just like that particular content. So that's time on page. Next is unique visitors. We want lots of unique visitors viewing our content. The more views, the more chances of a return on investment from content like conversions, engagement, shares, and backlinks, those trackable goals that you should have set. All right, next is to look at the metric of pages per session. How many pages is the user looking at after viewing your content? What pages are they going to? And this is about kind of a strategy of, great, I've got a fantastic way to get people here, whether it's paid, whether it's just backlinks going to this great content, this great, what is it called? The info page, an info page.
Splash page. A landing page.
Well, I'm just like an infographic, and that's that's
okay.
the word I was looking for.
Okay.
An infographic or whatever. What are you doing to like get them into the next page, right? Like get them to take the next action, whatever that action is.
Well, that's why breadcrumbs are so important, right? Like you want people to use the breadcrumbs, not click the back button.
Yeah.
You want them navigating through your site. You want at least a target starting out is 2 to 3 sessions. Like or two to 3 pages per session per visitor is really what you want to hit. Like certainly if they're coming to the page, they're going to one page and they're jumping and leaving, you are not going to rank for that for very long because you're not offering the right solution for that specific thing.
Google's going to know that they left the search engine result page, went to some content, came back and searched for more.
Yep.
New versus returning users. Are you attracting a new audience with this piece of content? Returning users are great. Returning customers are even better, like just to throw it out there. But we also need to aim to attract new users with our content. Ideally, you want to see a good mix of both new and returning users.
Yeah, I would just say customer journey, you need to have target persona for each. You need to have different customer journey for each. And I like bifurcating like people and flowing them to different areas. Like, so if you're targeting a different person, even dropping them on a landing page, right? And then say, hey, if you're interested in this, click here. If you're interested in this, click here. Because everybody likes that personalized content for them.
Yep. All right, next, traffic sources. If a majority of your content, and why do you want to track this, right? Like it's obviously interesting. And if a majority, as an example, if a majority of your content traffic is coming from Facebook, you should probably post more of your content on your Facebook page.
True.
I mean, just true. Yes. I think it's the right answer. If hardly any is coming from your email newsletters, it may be time to restructure your newsletters, kind of resegment your newsletter list. Like there's things that you need to do there. Next is conversions. If your goal for a new piece of content is to generate 100 conversions in the first quarter, and she gives the example of maybe it's an email opt-in, perhaps in the first week, there are only 2 conversions and you begin to doubt the content entirely. Let 2 months go by and continue to audit each week. This is this ongoing process to understand, is there kind of longer term value?
And statistical significance, super important when you're measuring time periods. If you're measuring short time periods, you need to have a lot of volume. A good rule of thumb that I've used for a long time, it's not completely accurate. I typically say 100.
Yeah.
Right.
100 visitors or 100
100
actions?
Anything. 100 anything. And I, just to be able to measure it, because many times it could be a fluke or you could just catch somebody at the right time. Like you never know. But if you get enough data over 100, whatever, you can at least infer some things. And so, looking at time periods and also seasonalities, and there's a lot of different things to consider, but when you take your snapshot, don't make assumptions too quickly.
All right. So some additional, those are kind of key metrics, some additional information to track. And I kind of jotted down, this is not necessarily tracking, but more like documenting so you can refer back to it. So she mentions SEO title and meta description. If you've got your content there, you want to know what your SEO title is, what your meta description in that Excel sheet or Google sheet, so that it's easy to understand what your targets were for that content.
Google will rewrite it for you most of the time now. And so there is like a excerpt section in WordPress now. I'd encourage you to fill that out.
Yep.
Google's kind of taking liberties on what they see and what's working. It's been interesting. I have some pages that I want to rank a certain way for like ad copy, and Google's like, no. This
is what people want to see.
Yeah, this is what people want to see. I'm like, all right.
But it's not what I want the people to see.
Yeah. Google. Yeah.
So add columns to your spreadsheet for these fields. It will help you optimize your content in the future. Say you're doing some content strategy and you're like, hey, do we have content for this page? Should we revisit it or should we just kind of replace it? Another additional thing to track is the UTM parameters.
Big time.
Log custom UTM parameters you use to track your content. Like that's really valuable.
Set it up. I mean, everybody's using that because Google's not going to give you all the data that you want, and this really helps you identify where that traffic's coming from.
Leads sales. If you have conversion events set up in Google Analytics, you can see which landing pages generate the most revenue.
Yes.
So these are things where we've seen particularly tricky situations where, hey, this page is showing the most conversions, but only after they landed on this page, right? So should your PPC page be to the one that they converted on or the one that they landed on, which led them to the page that those people converted best? Like you want to know that path because again, you might make the mistake of they needed some information. If the data says they needed some information from this page, that's where you want to send them. You don't want to send them to the page that's converting necessarily.
That's like an example too, is you want them to read a third-party review before they hear what you say, because it I don't know if indoctrination is the right word.
Pre-frames.
That's the word I'm looking for, because indoctrination is kind of a negative word. There's a book called Prefluence.
It's the phenomenal
second book.
Robert Cialdini.
Robert okay. Yeah.
That's his name.
I can't think of how to say it now.
Because I screwed you up. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No. But influence and prefluence.
Robert Cialdini.
You're very close. You're very close,
but not accurate.
But
close enough to mess you up.
Close enough that you can go find it.
Yes. Prefluence is
Prefluence is phenomenal, right?
So both were.
The first book was written to actually help consumers protect themselves against companies that were doing this.
Yeah.
Then companies were like, oh, this guy knows what.
This is how you
Cialdini.
Okay.
Yeah. And then basically he wrote the second book because it was kind of like, hey, people want to encore that he was doing so good. He wrote it from the standpoint of this is what companies should be doing.
Yeah.
And it's really good. So
that whole story is fascinating.
Cialdini. Yeah. Got it.
All right. So next metric to track, email metrics. How well did your content perform when you shared it with your email list? Certainly you should be doing that. If email engagement is an important goal for your content, you'll want to keep track of your opens, clicks, and forwards to see which content performs best.
And I would say that building a community, building an audience, building an email list is like where this whole digital marketing thing started. And it should really be the forefront. Like certainly I think SEO should be the crux as far as top of funnel. But when you're talking bottom of funnel conversions, you have to have a good email list and you got to be able to convert on that list. And that's a key piece that a lot of people are missing. There's a lot of things that we could even do better, and that's a focus of ours. But I'm telling you, like you have that list. I can't remember who said it, but basically if you have 1,000 people that are raving fans and you have that community to be able to get them to take action where they're engaged, or you get them to buy things, that's really all you need. And if you're overwhelmed with all the different things that you should be doing, go look at email marketing, because it's a really simple, kind of straightforward process. It's something you can control. You're not going to get overwhelmed by, and it's going to produce you real results because you're able to talk to people directly to them. And an email address is a lot of times like a physical address. People typically have them for 8 to 10 years.
Yep.
And if it's not an abandoned email, you're going to reach people right in their inbox.
Yep.
So you should do it.
The only thing that has a better open rate is SMS.
Oh yeah. Text messages.
Make sure
99.9%
open rate.
5. Yeah.
All right. Next, this is about repurposing content. So have you taken a collection of posts and turned them into an ebook? Or maybe vice versa. You took an ebook and broke it up into a couple of posts.
Or a podcast into a blog.
Right? Keep track of that content that you repurposed. So this is keeping track of stuff. Next is top keyword ranking. Did a particular piece of content stay at the top of the SERPs, search engine result pages, for its target key phrase? Note the best keyword rankings and how long they lasted to determine which types of content have long-term search wins and which types have short-term search wins, so you can predict what's going to happen with the content you do, you put out there. Next is influencer reach. Did you work with any influencers to get the word out about your content? Note the influencers that generate the most traffic or social shares for your content. You probably want to work with them again.
So Chris, I think that this is an area that you could go on a little bit of tangent with and talk and share some of your wealth of knowledge with influencers. I would love to hear some more.
Yeah. So let me talk a little bit and we'll move it to the green room because we can do a green room today if you want.
Go do that at the bar.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So influencers are really interesting. And I think I'll kind of preface this because it's worth doing an entire podcast on. I started working with influencers for the supplement brand from the perspective of, hey, I'm going to hire them. They're going to post. I had a good marketing background, so I kind of knew what I wanted to request from them. And I got that from them for the most part. And I was expecting sales, right? Like these people have 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers. And you're doing a free product situation, or you're doing free products plus a minimal amount. And to be honest, really no trackable sales. Like just no trackable sales. And so I kind of joke that I believe influencers usually don't have much audience and they have even less influence, right? Like there's just nothing going on there. Now,
well, you look at engagement rates of their audience. That's like how you measure.
So how I identify who's real, right? So there's a guy we worked with. I think we just traded product. Maybe we paid him like $100. So we get some photos out of him. We got some good marketing assets from that particular engagement. And then he comes back and he's like, hey, I'd like to work with you again. My price is now $2,000. You look at his followers. It's, I don't know. Let's just pretend it's like 150,000, something like that. And then you go look at how many people see his Instagram posts and it's low, or I've seen situations where it's like exactly the same number. So they get, 1,109 or 999, like right in that range for every post. In some cases, it doesn't match their followers. Like that's zero engagement.
It's not.
So the followers aren't real. And others, you can actually see like one of them, I just remember, I don't remember who it was or anything. I looked at the trend, and then you start going, okay, well, it's the exact same views, whether it's a video, whether the image is of an attractive woman or him. I think it was a guy in this case. And so you quickly realize that those views weren't real.
Well, this is kind of what we were talking about with the links too.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's really easy. If we can see it, an algorithm can absolutely.
That's for sure. Right? And algorithm is going to do infinitely better, right?
Yeah, algorithm is going to go like also, that it's interesting. We're actually dealing with something right now where people are doing negative dislikes. On stuff. Right. And they're using these like fake profiles and bot farms to do some of this kind of stuff. And so that is, pretty apparent because of what people are doing. And I mean, it's a short-term gain. They're looking to generate some revenue. It's a kind of a turn and burn situation. They're destroying their brand by doing it. I think that, like even if the number's smaller, but they're more engaged, is worth it. And so
grow that audience.
There's certainly a move away from. There's another guy out there that we're part of a podcast community with. He has a horse network that he recently sold, and everybody charges by like a CPM kind of standard.
Horse? No.
A horse, like horses, like cowboys, horses.
Okay.
Yeah. And, he's like $200 a CPM or something like that.
Right.
And his numbers are so low, but there are
people.
Companies. He was giving me an example of, there was a a poop shovel or something like that. That I forget exactly what it was, but they made a joke about it, like in the ad, and they have creative liberty, and they were doing something, and the guy came back and was like, "Your audience is
converts,
like
they're poop friendly."
I forget exactly what it was, but it was like, we've stopped all other marketing, and we know it's you because you're the only people that are calling it that. So like, it was called, I can't remember the whole
whatever, like, the horse poop scoop.
It was kind of like a joke, and you forget the punchline. That's what I'm doing right now. But essentially, they were calling it something else
as they were engaging with the actual brand.
With the audience. So everybody was asking for this, and they knew it was them. And he said he turned the guy that was selling them turned off all other marketing to utilize them, because they have a very, very niche, very, very engaged, true community audience. And you can't follow that CPM model. And so it's really looking for who's truly building community and engaging and working with those people, if they line up with what you're trying to do, and coming up with a collaboration or a partnership in that way. These people that are just mass whatever, it just doesn't work long term. So don't sidestep it. Build an audience that's engaged. Yes.
All right. So now we're talking about conducting this content audit for your audience. I don't know where that came from. Step 4, take actionable steps and develop a new content strategy, right? So you've completed, this is like the final step. You should have all the information you need to determine what content is working and what isn't. It's now time to use that information to create a plan to improve it. Add another column to your spreadsheet to indicate what action you need to take for each piece of content. This should include deleting, refreshing, rewriting, reusing, or just letting it sit, right? Just tracking. She probably should have added tracking. Because your content audit should now have hot topics and successful posts at the top of your mind, this is also the perfect time to develop a new content strategy. Define how and why your marketing content will be used, as well as how it will help you achieve very specific goals. It needs to achieve goals.
So I was looking at what Brian Dean's doing now.
Okay.
He started a company called Exploding Topics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is basically catching topics before the trend curve.
Right.
So like, based on data analysis of what's about to like
explode.
And you can see that in Google Trends too, right? Like, you can see kind of what's happening and what people are talking about. And if there's a topic that you're associated with, getting in on that topic early produces like outsized gains. And so it's really, really important to look at data to understand what content you have, who it's speaking to, how people are engaging with it, and then building that strategy on what it does next, and looking at these analytics. And that is where you start. You start with the data. You start with creating a baseline. You start with taking inventory of what you have, and then building a great strategy around that. And that's something that we do and our team does in spades. And you should be doing it. If you need some help, you can always give us a call.
Absolutely. All right. So Ashley says, in summary, and really I would say that this is a recommendation, audit content often.
Yes.
Content audits are absolutely essential. Remember that what works today may not work tomorrow, and your top performing pieces can quickly become outdated. It's the best way, these audits. So you should regularly perform these audits, and they are the best way to keep an eye on the overall health of your website. It will also help you spot new opportunities and reach your goals. Patif to Ashley Segura. Really good article, How to Conduct a Content Audit Step by Step. We really appreciate her and her writing. Should we ask a little small favor? I feel like a small favor is reasonable.
Value for value. Hey, if you're getting value out of this podcast, please go leave us a review. We get graded on reviews. It shows it to more people. It would really help us out. Also, if you know anybody that needs some digital strategy or digital marketing, have them reach out to us, have them listen to the podcast, and hopefully they'll take the next step. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Or if you would like to grow your business with the largest, simplest marketing tool on the planet,
the internet,
go to EWR Digital for increased revenue in your business. Once you get to EWRdigital.com, go look for that free consultation button. It's in the upper right. You can't miss it. That's where it's supposed to be. Like
yes,
that's how you
where
engage.
It's supposed to be. Yeah.
Go schedule some time
with
right?
a sticky menu.
There's and the sticky menu.
It
follows you.
It follows you. Like you need to have a sticky menu. Another pro tip.
Yeah, use a sticky menu. So go there. You will get time scheduled with one of our internet marketing experts. We were just talking about the high deliver. So we are we use Google Chat, and we've got kind of open forums where one of the things that I'm really big on, and Matt is now also big on, is acknowledgments. Like, so when you do something that's really cool and maybe nobody knows it, right? Because we work remotely. Yeah. Hey, post this up. We want to hear about something cool that you did. And one of our internet marketing experts got accolades for, I can't believe that in this 20-minute call, you delivered so much value. I got off of a call previous to you that was at least an hour and a half.
That's
or something.
What she said, yeah.
We probably should have read that as a testimonial. And I didn't get with another internet marketing company, and we didn't get any value, right? Like, that's what you're going to get when you go to ewrdigital.com and you click the free consultation button.
That's because the people answering the phone have come up through the organization, and we've trained them on digital marketing. So they truly are consultants versus salespeople.
Some of them have even appeared on the podcast.
That's true. Many of them have. and more to come in that regard.
Yeah, that's a good, that would be a good thing to keep working. All right. We appreciate you. You guys have made us the most popular SEO podcast on iTunes, one of the most popular internet marketing podcasts on iTunes. That is because of you. So patif to you. Until the next podcast, my name is Chris Burres.
My name is Matt Bertram.
Bye-bye for now.